we're going to be talking about the rise and fall of the Patriarchy Princess.
Opinion is not study.
If you are a man and you're low-key a red pill man, this is not the community for you.
Other TikTok videos from your peers is not study.
Actually, satanic, if you will, because this is what this is. It's actually it's Satan.
You know what is study? Education.
Shouting at women on the internet. It hasn't aged well.
Mm-hmm. What you're doing is just adding more noise to a very loud echo chamber. You're not actually helpful. Hello and welcome to the To My Sisters podcast. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Renee, and we are your online sisters and hosts of the To My Sisters podcast.
We are all about promoting the wellness, growth and development of a community of sisters around the world.
And in today's podcast episode, we're going to be talking about the rise and fall of the Patriarchy Princess. The pick-meshas, the red pill princesses, they've come
and they've gone.
Exited stage left. And we are going to gloat. No, we're not going to gloat, I promise. We are going to talk about this absolutely revelatory social movement that we have seen unfolding before our eyes, literally unfolding and now departing us, hopefully for good. Fingers crossed, we're praying. But before we dive into that topic, do we have any housekeeping announcements?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
The house is swept.
I think we're quite cool. Well, if you don't know, we're having a few events coming up.
The way you said that so nonchalantly.
We have a few events coming through, and we want to see you guys. Honestly, we want to be outside this summer.
Yes, please.
We want to connect with you. We feel like it's been forever. Like, if you know TMS over the last couple of years, you know we do events really frequently, but this year has just been so mad. And so we're like, no, we need to put some dates in the calendar to link up with the girls, man. And so, we have some events coming up, and to really just lock in and to hear more about them, you should sign up to the To My Sisters mailing list.
Yes, please.
Over on our website, tomysisters.com. All we do is send love letters and it's literally a notice board.
That's it.
For just things that are happening. We don't even bombard. We don't send you spam.
Nothing.
We don't even sell your information.
We've kept it, and we could sell your information, Sha.
For big bucks. But we don't do that.
Gosh.
And so genuinely, it would be amazing for you to come to one of our events. So stay in the loop. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, I think the house is pretty
swept.
Okay,
fantastic.
The house is swept. All right, we're going to dive into a dilemma before we get into this juiciness. But
ding, ding,
we got that ding.
Dilemma.
All right. Hi, sisters.
Hey, sweets.
I'm 21 and currently a university student.
Ooh.
I'd really love to hear some big sister advice because this has been on my heart for a while. Oh dear, yeah. So sending love, sis. I often hear that being in a relationship in your early 20s can sometimes hold you back from fully becoming the woman you're meant to be, whether that's pursuing your dreams, discovering yourself, or reaching your highest potential. But I've been talking to someone truly amazing. We align so well in our values, our desire for growth, and where we see ourselves going. I don't want to walk away from something that feels healthy and promising just because of what society says about dating young. At the same time, I'm trying to be intentional about my personal development and stepping fully into purpose. So my question is, how do you know if a relationship is right for you at this stage of your life? And how do you stay committed to becoming your best self while building something with someone else? Thank you so much for the beautiful space that you've created.
Oh, that is so lovely, so wholesome. All the best with your degree, your time in uni, and yay to finding somebody who piques your interest.
Ooh, girl.
I think there are a lot of social trends and social commentary about dating young, about, you need some time to discover yourself, find yourself. Do you really know yourself at 21 to be maybe exploring a serious relationship with somebody? And personally, I think you shouldn't let social conversations and digital conversations govern your whole life. Like, there are examples of people who met really young and they discovered themselves in the relationship and beyond the relationship. And so I think we are a generation of black and whites, and we don't acknowledge the gray areas sometimes. Yes, if you are somebody who maybe needs to take some time to do some deep soul searching and finding, and okay, who am I really? What do I like? Am I somebody who is easily influenced by the presence of a partner? Am I going to become what he wants instead of becoming who I am? Ask yourself those questions. And then maybe if you're the sort of person who's easily influenced, easily shape shifts into whatever he wants you to be, then this is not the time to put yourself in the hands of somebody who is going to shape you into being what they want, but won't give you the freedom to discover who you want to be. But if you're the sort of person who can manage both and be like, you know what, no, I'm going to date this person, I'm going to have fun dating them, I'm going to discover my likes and my dislikes with them, and also outside of them. I'm going to do things with friends, I'm going to do things with family, I am going to enjoy dating, but also be a holistic being living a holistic life. Then why not? If you found the love of your life at 21, baby, you're about to set yourself up for a whole bunch of great memories and saving yourself from a whole bunch of heartbreak. So I think if there is the opportunity to explore a relationship with this guy, and I'm not saying double down and go all in and oh my gosh, he's my husband. I think one, acknowledging whether his character and his maturity aligns with you and where you're trying to go in the future. Whether at this present time he'll also allow you to explore yourself outside of him. Is he trying to be up on you, with you, around you 24/7? Baby girl, you got your own identity.
Wrap it up.
This man does not need to be in 100% of your life. That doesn't stop you from exploring commitment either. And so I think it's a thing of balance. I think it's a thing of two things can exist at the same time. And you're looking for a guy who will understand that, hey, you're young, you're spunky, you're fun. You want to be out here, you're spunky, you're fun. You want to be out here maybe going on girls trips and enjoying, going on solo holidays and going on solo dates and going exploring stuff. And maybe he, one, shouldn't be at all of those things, but also two, he doesn't want to do certain things because that doesn't pique his interest. That's completely fine, because I think we have been sold that narrative of, oh, when you're in a relationship, you're going to lose yourself, or when you have kids, you're going to lose yourself. Actually, a lot of women find themselves because they're doing the work to find themselves in their relationship and also outside of it. Your partner isn't 100% of your life. Like, I think we're used to the depictions of young love being, oh my gosh, you're always together, and oh my gosh, you speak like each other. And listen, you can be an independent person while still codependent on somebody in a really, well, not even codependent, being interdependent with somebody who plays a very beautiful part in your life, but is not your whole life. And I think if you had the emotional maturity at this stage to balance that, I don't think 21 is too young to be exploring being with someone. I don't think you should commit yourself to a life of singleness just because you're young. If that's something you want to do, that's completely your prerogative, and it also has its benefits. But if you think you found somebody who is worth exploring things with, I would explore, child. And I would keep your itinerary filled with things that allow you to enjoy dating, but also explore more of yourself. All the things that you would have done in your young, single, fun era, you can actually still do them now, bar maybe if you get into a committed relationship with this guy, bar dating multiple people. But that's not the only thing that epitomizes the young, fun era. So I think go for it, girl. Go for it, and explore yourself at the same time. Because what makes people regret it? The last thing I'll say, what makes people regret young love or committing to somebody so young is they allowed it to rob them, or in some cases, it just robbed them. Their partner robbed them of exploring themselves, exploring the world alone, cultivating their own interests, cultivating their own gifts, and discovering their purpose. And so, allow yourself to do things that allow you to discover your purpose, and don't let your partner hold you back from doing stuff like that. If anything, the biggest green flag is finding somebody who will empower you to continue doing that whilst being with them. And so that's what I would say. Those are the character traits you should be looking for. Is this somebody who has allowed me to advance as a person and contributing to that advancement with their presence? And the other thing is, you can still cultivate purpose. It just takes intentionality. It just takes you creating a very full and well-rounded life for yourself with your partner, but also outside of them. That's what I would say. How about you?
No, I think you answered that literally perfectly. There's not too much that I would add. I definitely agree in that, yes, you are young, but I think don't fall privy to the narratives that as soon as your frontal lobe connects at 25, that's when you can only be accountable to decisions, and you want to be as young and free and feckless up until then. You're still actually an adult, and yes, you are in that exploration phase, but you're still very much within your rights to kind of explore, make
So
some
true.
really important decisions. Heck, a lot of people got some really cool stuff done at your age.
Yeah.
And finding a potential lifelong partner is not unheard of. In fact, child, before everybody was doing the whole wave of I'm going to wait till I'm 25, 28, 30, people were settling down with their lifelong partners before
Yeah.
too. And yes, we have seen quite, negative depictions of young love, but that doesn't always have to be the story that you tell yourself. And so you've already got some of the barometer right already in terms of being aligned, having similar values. You feel that this is a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
So I would very much echo a lot of what Courtney has mentioned already, which is the relationship cannot consume your life. That's where anybody at any age goes wrong. When your relationship becomes your identity, it becomes your badge of honor, when it
Yeah.
becomes everything that you're about, that's where you've gone wrong. Whether you're 15 or 50, this man cannot take up your whole life. You have things to do, your purposes, and all sorts of stuff. So if you don't have hobbies, I know it sounds so obvious, but even at 21, if you don't have hobbies, if you're not pushing the boundaries, if you're not taking up opportunities that actually require you to take risks, then that's when, oh, okay, there may be a couple of red flags here. Or if you feel that this relationship is preventing you from doing some of the things that you want to do at this particular age, then maybe I would think about, okay, reconsidering. You've already mentioned, again, some really good characteristics and character traits that this guy has. So keep on keeping on, fight the good fight of faith. I would also be mindful in terms of like timelines and, allowing for evolution, because sometimes that does happen when you are young. 21 is still young spring chicken, your collagen is still very much in your face, plump and lovely and all that kind of beautiful stuff. You can still, go hiking and various other activities that don't require any extra, joint care support and all that kind of stuff. So make the most of that whilst you are still young, and continue to check in and have conversations with your partner. It sounds like both of you are relatively mature, still growing, but you're mature about what you want. So I would definitely prioritize regular check-ins to kind of engauge, where are you guys at in terms of your mental headspace, where this relationship is leading to? Are you both still aligned at every critical juncture of your particular life? And continue to build a life that you would be proud of. Because there's no point breaking up with a guy that you think is actually genuinely healthy for you. You're in a good, happy place just because of what society says. Like,
absolutely.
If we had £1 for every time society said something, and the outcome of that for women, child, we'll be millionaires. We probably wouldn't be recording this podcast. No, I'm kidding. We don't do it for money. We do it because we genuinely care. But society will actually lead you down a very, very dark road if you're not careful. And so just be cognizant of the fact that, you're on this journey yourself, you're on this journey with your partner, and it's actually perfectly okay for you to be in a relationship whilst you're young, as long as it doesn't consume your entire life. So sending lots of love, girl. It's so beautiful to see love in the streets. Even young
it's
love.
Such a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful thing. Worth exploring as well.
Young love, so beautiful. Sisters, are any of you guys in long-term relationships that started out young? Were you guys young spring chickens kicking it back in 02, 19 insert, year that you met your young love? And are you still going strong? If so, drop it like it's hot in the comments below. We would love to hear and see.
Nice.
So, getting into the meat and bones of the conversation, the Patriarchy Princesses. So, if you haven't been around on the internet streets nearly as long as we have been, we have fallen privy to the rise and falls of various different movements, as it were. We have seen conservatism, we have seen liberation and all sorts. We have seen the far left, we have seen the far right. And one of the political movements, if you will, that we have seen has been the rise of the Patriarchy Princess. We have seen various folks that we will call the Red Pill Avengers rise in the internet, holding women accountable to their wrongdoings. And we have also seen them fall, demonetized, deplatformed, left in disgrace. So the first thing I want to talk about, Courtney, is the life cycle of the Patriarchy Princess. What is this weird thing that we are seeing with a lot of content creators, and not necessarily just the red pillars, but we'll focus on the red pillars for now, where what we thought might be evergreen content and evergreen holding women accountable, shouting at women on the internet, it hasn't aged well. And we've seen these kind of content creators that have built their platform on, shaming specific demographics rise. But then we've also seen them fall and crash badly. Talk to me a little bit about that life cycle, that timeline, how these empires on the internet can rise so quickly, and as quickly as they're built, they fall. And what
Mhm.
is the reason that we are ascribing to that
Oh,
fall?
that's such an interesting question. I think when we saw the like rise of red pill content, obviously it's being championed by men. So think your Andrew Tate, your Kevin Samuels,
Yeah.
your all these other voices that existed telling women to be this, men to be that. This is how to date, and this is why women want a high value man and why they don't deserve him, and how to be that high value man so you can pick whatever woman you want and do whatever you want to her and live whatever life you want.
Oh.
And so we were being kind of lambasted with crazy content, crazy sound bites, crazy just a crazy culture was brewing on the internet, but
Yeah.
also in real life, of men and women not really knowing how to interact with each other because certain men were putting on this bravado, and it was believed to be really anchored in, social statistics about the rates of men being lonely, the rates of men and their dating experiences as well. And I think that's one of the first things to start with. Those things to some degree were rooted in truth, and they were rooted in real people's real experiences.
Yeah.
Like when you listen to a lot of these, especially male content creators, and I'll get onto the female ones, when you listen to a lot of these male content creators who existed in the red pill space and you hear a part of their origin story, you start to realize there is somewhere a heartbreak, somewhere there was somebody who rejected them and it deeply cut them, and so they decided they would change their entire persona. No more Mr. Nice Guy, essentially. And I think that's something that a lot of people, a lot of men, not that I would know, but a lot of men can actually relate to.
Yeah.
We hear it sometimes like, oh, somebody broke my heart when I was 13, 14, 12, whatever, 10. And I decided I would never be the good guy from that moment. I was just going to move mad when it came to girls. And then people find themselves on the online space doing that and creating content that continues to like push really harmful narratives around women, around dating, around relationships, around marriage. And we were starting to see the damages of that seep into society. And I think even more recently, seeing a show like Adolescence on Netflix, kind of shining a light on how pervasive this kind of content and this nature of thinking actually is, to the point where it is damaging predominantly young boys who are growing up into men who are bad for society and doing bad in society. Unfortunately, alongside this trend of online discourse, there now emerges a cesspit of women who pander to that because they want to be picked. They want to be the woman that these men who hate women choose to like. And I think that there lies the crux of the issue. When you are designing your whole personality because you want to be picked and selected by somebody who has made very, very clear that they almost, and it's in very subtle ways, but that they hate, despise people like you want to be the exception. And I think this exceptionalism that people were trying to cultivate is where the danger was. We would see the rise of women who would create their own platforms or go onto these men's platforms and say like, oh my gosh, what you're saying about women are right. Women don't do this. Women don't do this enough. Women aren't this enough. Women of our generation or that generation are getting it wrong in these ways. Almost as though they were co-signing and excusing the bad behavior that these men were encouraging and demonstrating and discussing. And what's unfortunate about that is, one, and I don't mean this to sound trivial, but it's a huge violation of girl code in the sense that it throws other women under the bus. And I think there is something so disgusting about women who will throw other women under the bus for them to so-called advance. And for the only advancement that you would get out of this to be, one, male validation, and two, money and popularity, I think that is actually quite disgusting. Because what you're saying is, it's fine for all of this stuff to happen to other women because I'm not that type of woman. And so I'm going to be exempt from the danger. I'm going to be exempt from the negative consequences that could potentially come out of this rhetoric being amplified. And I think what's funny now is the continuation of the life cycle has looked like those women, as much as they were there, pick me, I'm the perfect epitome of femininity, the perfect, epitome of a wife. I'm the one who deserves a high value woman. I'm the type of woman that men want, or at least I'm not what they don't want.
Mm-hmm.
They still don't get picked. The amount of women who were doing pick me, and you are not married. You were not picked. So what did you actually get for your efforts? What did you get? And I'm not saying this in the instance, because I think I was having a conversation with Adela one time, and she was saying how, like, what a lot of people call pick-me's is just a label they throw onto women that they disagree with, especially when they have a contrary opinion about men. And I'm not criticizing women who have contrary opinions about men, completely not. If you're a woman who stands up for men and their rights and their position in society, I don't necessarily think that that's a negative thing.
Right.
What I think is a negative thing is you aligning yourself with really dangerous discourse and being completely imbalanced in the way that you approach things and unnuanced in the way that you approach conversations, to the point where you are actively putting women and their position in society in danger. So now what we've seen is women who have done that, they have gotten nothing. The one thing that you are actually aiming for, one, actually being picked, getting a man, you don't have. The second thing, money and popularity, you have been deplatformed and demonetized. So I want to know, in terms of this conversation, what was the benefit? What was the benefit of what you did? And I think that's what a lot of us can learn from, not us, but women who may feel like that is the path to finding what you want out of life. Unfortunately, and I don't want to demonize these women, because they also exist in a system that pits women against each other.
Right.
They exist in a system that is oftentimes extremely misogynistic, and that's why they are allowed to be that golden star, that exception to the rule that is then platformed in so many places, because society will raise up a woman who is a menace to society if she seems to be appeasing men. And so I personally think what we can learn from those women and that kind of cycle of being the woman who is loud and proud about something that is wrong, getting your validation from a group that actually is not invested in your well-being, your longevity, your care, and your success, and then allowing yourself to use that as your high horse. The fact that this group of people, who are not that nice, by the way, like you, and you allow that to be your high horse, to the point where you alienate all the other societies that could or communities that could come to your rescue in your time of need, and then finding those bad-mannered, bad-charactered people, throwing you to the side, and now you need that community which you isolated to come to your rescue, and they're not there to rescue because they owe you nothing, and now you are left high, dry, and thrown to the side.
Lord, Heavenly Father.
What did you want? What did you want? What did you want? I hope you at least invested something into your SIP and you have a pension. I hope maybe you had the stocks and shares ISA. I hope you made what's the word? I'm hoping you made use. I'm hoping you made use. No, I'm hoping they made use of their time in the limelight, because these things never last forever. And I'm going to say something quite wild, sorry. But I think every patriarchy princess thinks her character arc or her life cycle is going to look like the Candace Owens effect. You are not Candace Owens. Let me tell you that right now. Just because, but I have contrary opinions to the mainstream.
Lord,
Candace Owens is a legitimate political commentator. That is a woman. She's essentially a journalist. That woman actually has opinions and facts and research and study. Not to say I agree with her over many things, but that she's different to a patriarchy princess sitting on a podcast telling a man, you look like a high earning, tall, handsome man, you're a high value man, looking like a slipper.
Oh my God,
looking like a slipper, looking like a doormat.
I hate you so much.
Looking like a doormat, right? Candace Owens ain't doing that. She's commentating on
Oh
other stuff.
my
So what made you
God.
think that because you were the contrarian of the internet,
Oh,
you were going to get your
man.
own show? You were going to get your... No. In fact, nobody wants to hire you. If they search your name, it's associated with Passa. And if you had sat down and aligned yourself with wise people, not these people who were extorting you, because I think a huge part of this life cycle is extortion.
Yes.
Men who have these platforms will give platform to these kind of women because it benefits their cause, right? Here's a woman who believes in what I'm saying. Here's a woman who supports one. So to all the people who say I hate women, here's a woman that A, agrees with me, and B, who I've nobly chosen to platform. And so you become a scapegoat.
It's giving my black friend.
You become a token. You become a token in these spaces, but when it no longer serves them, they will throw you to the side.
Under the bus
real quick. And there's going to be nobody who will come to your rescue. And so I think, again, what we learn from this life cycle is it really worth aligning yourself with a dangerous message for an outcome which is A, not guaranteed, 2, should not be preferred, and 3, at the forfeiting of something that could actually be beneficial to you, which is society, your reputation, your well-being. That's my thoughts on the life cycle of a patriarchy princess. I've never really seen it work out well.
Oh, Courtney, coming in hot.
Yeah.
You know, like when you start a match, and someone serves up something terrifying. In tennis, this is what it's giving.
I don't think
it's giving Serena Williams.
Helpful.
Yeah, no, it's not.
But yeah, what are your thoughts on what seems to be the fall of the patriarchy princess? Not to say that they don't exist,
right.
Because new generations,
yeah, new generations, recycle.
But what are your thoughts on the fact that right now it seems they are experiencing quite a few consequences,
as they should?
And to be fair, not even just patriarchy princesses, but even like patriarchal, I wouldn't even just say patriarchal, misogynistic men are facing the consequences of their actions and the content that was rife in like 2020, 2021.
Listen, this can be perfectly summarized by: you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That which you use to harm other people is the thing that will end up putting you in your own grave, whether it's physically, metaphorically, or online. I think the issue that first of all, for patriarchy princesses and a lot of people that have platforms, the problem is they have platforms. Now your whole digital footprint is you aligning yourself to something that cannot stand the test of time.
Yeah.
There is nothing evergreen about being a hater. There is nothing evergreen about that. And now in 10, 20 years time, if you have kids or whoever is associated with you, family, friends, you're looking for employment after this whole facade of you being a content creator has come to its rightful conclusion. Now you have a reference point, which is distasteful to say the least, that associates you with you actively tearing people down.
Yeah.
This isn't about holding women accountable. It's about trying to align yourself with something you think is profitable. And time again, when you actually sit down and have conversations with a lot of these patriarchy princesses, I kind of feel sorry for them. I actually pity them because I know that it's a power play. You are trying to protect yourself by throwing other people underneath the bus, thinking that you are exceptional. And that's the problem. The myth of exceptionalism. And what makes it even sadder is the fact that some of these women will judge themselves by patriarchal standards or red pill standards, thinking that that's going to elevate their position. So you coming to tell me I'm a 6 out of 10, I'm a 7, I'm a 3 out of 10. And you also acknowledging, oh yeah, me too, I'm a 6 out of 10, but I know my position in society. You're not going to get picked any faster. You're still going to be susceptible to these deadbeat men. You're still going to be susceptible to entering into the dating sphere, and you're going to have to deal with some crazy ish. You're still going to have to go through everything that women go through 10x because now you have a platform. And now we've seen you publicly lambasting women, but also publicly shaming them. Who is going to come to your rescue? Not men.
That's it.
Because let me tell you one thing about these red pill men. Listen, hell will freeze over before they save a woman. Hell will free. Well, heaven forbid that it would be you that needs saving, and the same men that you have been backing. You think that they're coming to support you? They don't see you as any better than the women that you are shaming. How many of them will come on these men's platforms to come and validate this incomprehensible and quite deplorable excuse of a man? and start saying, yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
To what? Like, what does it actually do for you?
Mhm.
What does it actually do for women that know you? What does it actually do for your community? And this whole idea of there's power in being contrarian, not if you're wrong. And a lot of you are actually,
Simple as.
you're dead wrong. Like, it's not even like you're coming to me, as you were mentioning with like the Candace Owens example. It's not like you're coming to me with genuine debate. It's not like you're coming to me because a lot of you genuinely believe. That's the thing I find very interesting about a lot of pick me's, is that deep down, I know it's gingering you. I know you don't believe this. I know that you're just feeding into rage bait. I know that you're just profiting off of the fact that this is hip and popping and this is cool right now. A lot of things were hip and popping don't mean it's good for you.
Yeah.
Crack cocaine was hip and popping in the 60s.
Yeah.
That don't mean it's good for you.
Facts.
A lot of people don't have, nose cartilage because of cocaine. Okay, this is the same thing. Y'all are drunk off the drug of social media. The hype of being the one that all the men pick, and the kind of like the debauchery of the men that you're supporting, because it's not even just like normal men. People think that being a pick me shot opens me up to all types of men.
Yeah.
You are being opened up specifically to the kind of deplorable, like some of the things they say, the worst kind, like the apex of beta male. Like if you could round them up, this is the space in the internet that you are opening yourself up to. And not only are you opening yourself up to that space, but you are simultaneously eroding the protection that women can give in these kind of places. How many times have women come to the defense of even people they don't like on these internet streets, just to make sure that they do not become victims of such horrible things on the internet? There are terrible people that exist on the internet, and you are slowly becoming one of them because you want to be close to power, or you want to be picked, or you've fallen victim to this trap of patriarchy that men are the prize. Wake up! Stand up.
It's quite scary.
Men are the prize. These men?
Scary.
Red pill?
It's quite
the ones that live in their basement? Male loneliness epidemic? The ones that wake up in the morning at 6 a.m. to come and play video games whilst they're also saying, I hate women? Those are the men that you're supporting?
Oh, dear.
Those are the... 50... You wake up in the morning to come on the internet to talk to men that are still debating whether we should go 50-50 in 2025.
I think that's the sad thing. And it's seeing them come to the defense of men who even push harsher rhetorics than that. Yes. It's one thing to jump in a little he conversation about 50-50 dates. Okay, fine. I don't agree with you, but this isn't a do or die issue. Right. But if a man says, if a woman is dressed in a provocative way, or if she's wearing something that is revealing, I have a right to look at her, or I have a right to grab her, or I have a right to, what else is she putting out there? Insane the messaging of what she's wearing is inviting some kind of violence. She's playing hard to get, and you sit there and you defend that. My sister, I want to see you covered. I want to even see your eyeballs covered. I want to see you covered.
Better be wearing
cover
sunshades.
Your toenail. You are not then going to think you can exist in a society where you've empowered that, because that's the thing. When we defend something, we defend its right to exist. Yes, we defend its legitimacy. We defend its validity. And if you are defending that, this is the society you are existing in. This is the society that your child is existing in. And so, just because you have won the favor of the enemy doesn't mean that you're safe in the war. It doesn't mean that. Whenever the opportunity comes, if they got to sacrifice people, baby, you're the first. You're the first to go. They don't give a damn. You ain't one of them. You're not one of them. You don't think like them. And these men, okay, there are the men who sit in the basements, they play the video games, and then there are predators. And unfortunately, a lot of these women have empowered predators. Yes. You are raising predators. Yes. You are empowering so many men to go out there and be predators on women. They treat women like prey, like conquests. And that is so harmful. And this is the same society you are going to exist in. This is the same society you're going to step into. And it's not to say you can't have a contrary thought. Yeah. But I do think if you have a contrary thought, let it genuinely be for the betterment of society. I think the biggest thing that annoys me so much about these women who create red pill content is, it's like you were saying, you just want to sound different for sounding different's sake. You just want to sound like you said, you just want to rage bait. You just want to be that person who sits on you want to be that person that just infuriates people, and you want to see all these women get in the comments and be upset about who you are. For some reason, that fuels you because you feel like, oh, look at me, I'm so amazing. But do you actually want to see society changed? If you're the person who's like, oh, I want to make femininity content because I genuinely want to help women heal that part of themselves that may have been robbed from them from abuse, or may have been robbed from them from being adultified at such a young age, or may have been robbed from them because they went through, a different kind of experience of culture and society. I understand where that comes from. But if you want to train women to be more feminine so they can be appeasing to men, that's where you've got it twisted and where you've got it wrong, because you're empowering something to flourish that is actually bad for society.
Dead wrong.
And unfortunately, I think my anger towards this subject comes out because most people are just doing it for money. You're just doing it for money. You have this femininity course, you have this dating course, you have this guidebook, this downloadable PDF on how to be a dateable, marriageable woman. We don't even know if your marriage is happy. One. Number two, we don't even know if you're married.
Fam.
And you're capitalizing on people's insecurities. You're capitalizing on and you're preying on women when these insecurities arise. And there's something very predatory about being somebody who looks out for an insecurity in a woman or in any person. It's the same thing that the red pill content guys do to guys. You're looking for that seed of insecurity, that seed of rejection, that seed of lack of identity, that seed of isolation, and you jump on it like Sonic. And that's the biggest problem. Then you take them and you mold them into what you want them to be, and they become menaces to society. They continue to advance all these harmful beliefs. You then have pick-me's raising pick-me's who then go on to be bullies. They go on to be bullies. And we often say this, and I say this quite a bit, that most of the people who keep patriarchy going are women.
Yes.
Because we internalize it so deeply and we allow it to control our life so much that out of our own bitterness to the fact that we experienced this confined life because we had to, grow up thinking about, is this how you're going to grow up is this how you're going to behave in your husband's house? You need to serve your brother first. Don't do this. Men don't like that. Because we're then so bitter at the fact that we had to grow up like that, we then project it onto other women and we keep them bound too. And those women become bullies. They become mean girls. They become people who don't allow other women around them to actually flourish and be free. That again is dangerous. And so my thing is, what you are doing, is it actually helpful for people?
No.
Do you actually want to help people? Most times people don't want to help. They want to get paid. And that's the dangerous part. Now that you've made your money and you've left so many other women man obsessed, completely frail from the fact that they have gone around. Can you imagine? These people have coached women to go around calling themselves 3s out of 10s, 4 out of 10s. Well, at least I'm aware of myself. And now you're growing up with broken self-esteem. Now you're progressing through life, carrying that broken self-esteem into your marriage. You're carrying that into your parenting. You're carrying that thing back into your workplace. What is that doing to actually benefit you?
Bro, constantly having to validate yourself. Oh, he cheated on me because I'm a 3 out of 10.
Do you get what I mean? But at least I'm aware of that. Do you think awareness saves lives? Awareness doesn't save lives. What the hell? At least I'm aware. What? No, you're not aware. You've been conditioned. You're not aware. You have been conditioned to see yourself as so less than that you have adopted language that is actually a danger and a hindrance to you. And in order to somewhat soothe yourself, it's like you've got Stockholm syndrome.
You're being held hostage.
You are being held hostage. You know you're in a society that hates people like you. And so at least if you can see yourself in that way, you can navigate the world with a certain level of perspective and understanding that makes it bearable to survive. That is not the life that's not the life Jesus died on the cross for you to have. Let me tell you.
No, the way you said that.
That is not the life that you should be having in this world. Like if I looked at my cousins or I looked at my sisters and I knew that the only way they were getting through life and getting through school and getting through their work was to think, well, I don't deserve much anyway, so I'm going to accept whatever I can as a way to medicate.
I don't think so.
The nonsense that they are going through. I would be torn to pieces because where did you get that information information from? Who told you that? It's giving Satan. It's giving the enemy. And I just hate that women are the mouthpieces
Yes.
for this to happen. I know men have done a lot. And it's like, well, where's the accountability for the men? We've been talking about all of them.
I
tell you every day it's one of my regular prayer points that they all go to prison. I tell you now. I hope they all go to jail and have time to rehabilitate. I hope they have time to think about what they're thinking about and what they're doing to society.
Yes.
But for the women in particular, I think it's quite sad because you're becoming a part of why women can no longer be safe.
Yes.
Mentally safe, emotionally safe, and physically safe.
Yeah.
And now that you have, all your cards have run out and you've been deplatformed, you've been demonetized, and, this is no longer a lucrative thing for you anymore. You move on and you live your life, but you've left so many people in the crossfires.
Yeah.
You've left so many people down and out because they were invested in what you were saying. Not that they were right, because again, we've been telling people since 2021, be careful what you're exposing yourself to. Be careful to the content that you're listening to. But for some reason or another, they stayed invested in your platform.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, they are left high and dry.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's extremely predatory and I think it's extremely unfair. And I genuinely hope that not only do they change the way they think, I hope that they publicly come out in the same way they did their press tours, the same way they were loud and proud. I hope their repentance is even louder.
Woo!
I hope that the way they've changed their mind is even louder, because you've led so many people astray already.
Oh my
goodness. Change of your mindset or your failure should not now be done in private. I'm so sorry. If the damage you did was in public, baby, you better find a stool and start shouting in the town square that you have changed your mind. Because
Courtney,
I
actually adore you so much.
No,
because I know we're talking about this in this context, but if the problems you have caused are in public, I need you, like the town jester.
Yeah.
When they put you on that raised platform
in the public square,
wearing the little stupid bells and whistles and all that kind of dumb. I need you to confess that you were dumb publicly.
Yeah.
Come with that same energy, you predators.
And change be as committed to spreading the right information as you were spreading misinformation.
Yes.
Like, if you went on every guy's podcast talking about, women should do this and women should do that, you should find every single platform you can to undo your wrongs. Because that's just your obligation. That's your obligation to society.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sick of people benefiting from society, benefiting from their mistakes, benefiting from platforms. But when the time comes, they hold their hands up and they're like, well, I've changed now. So I don't have to do anything. Baby, you are the perfect spokesperson, the perfect advocate at this point. If your mind has changed, please, and your heart has changed, you're the perfect advocate for women's empowerment, if I'm being honest. Because you can show the transformation of a mindset and why the things that you once believed were actually quite damaging. Because I genuinely, I dare somebody to show me a woman who was deeply entrenched in that stuff, who has actually wildly succeeded.
And the thing is, man, Connie, you spitting facts today, man, because some of them are actually dead liars too. In that
filthy
it's not
filthy, stinking, rubbish-speaking liars. No, go on.
Like, some of you have been talking and advocating for the patriarchy within your own relationships, only for your relationship to then. I'm not wishing ill on you. This is actually a reality. Your own relationship has now crumbled in public,
or it's crumbling in private. And now you're keeping up a facade. And now I really want to see this husband you speak of. Where is he? We want to see. This person you speak of that, oh my gosh, yeah, I get everything I want from him. Bring him to the front.
Bring him back.
Bring him to the front.
Yeah, bring him back.
I want
He's
to
been
ask
quiet.
him some questions.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, because of social media, we are the generation that can be finessed the most. Somebody can come and say, imagine, you are going to see a doctor. And the only qualifications this doctor has is, I have 10,000 clients that I have successfully performed on. Okay, can I see their records? No.
Oh.
Can I see them? No, I'm protecting their privacy. Can I see pictures of your work? No, I don't want to share my life and that side of my work publicly. So what do I have to take for this? Your word? And you want me to let you operate on me? and you want me to put my life on the line.
That's such a good analogy, because that's what it is. It's actually a matter of life
Pure
and death.
gesticulation and hearsay. Simple conjecture.
It's actually hearsay.
This is speculative at best. At best, this could even be a
hearsay.
fable.
Stop it. Fable is crazy.
I think
word.
of your imagination.
It's giving Pied Piper.
This could be fictional.
It's giving Pied Piper. You
I
know how
don't
that
know.
one ended.
You might have just decided I need
Kids
a new
were
hustle.
stolen.
I'm gonna add DR to the front of my name and start giving people BBLs.
Ah,
Now you've
Dr.
got a
Love.
made up story. And isn't that the hustle of so many of not just patriarchy princesses, but people in our generation
Everybody.
because of social media?
Everybody.
You need a new hustle. Suddenly you want a new car. You got to figure out how to get that 20K. So what are you going to do? Put together some kind of course.
Everything. Stop.
Oh, Renee.
No, it's always the course.
Renee.
It's always the course. It's always the coaching.
I'm going to put together some kind of course. Teaching people God knows what.
Oh, Lord. Oh, heaven.
And then unfortunately now we have ChatGPT.
Oh, heaven.
That babe don't even know when she's right and when she's wrong.
And the thing is, the course will even be made on ChatGPT.
No, as it all the what's the M dashes?
Yeah,
and
that-
everything. All the M dashes in there.
That is the primary way you can tell
Thank you
someone's
very
been
much.
using that
Thank you very
AI.
much. Thank you very much. And now you've corrupted somebody's life because they bought your course for $997 because it has to end in a 7 for it to be psychological marketing.
Yeah.
$997 of their money invested into your course to tell them how to be a better woman. Are you a better woman?
You might be the runt of.
Do you even hate the fact that you're a woman? And now you're teaching people how to be a woman. This is sometimes why I wish I had my law degree, because I would actually put all of you in prison. I would have to do some kind of
Forget
campaign.
law degree. You need to be a police officer, Courtney.
Renee,
in
I'm
another
telling
life,
you-
I'm telling you.
That might actually be my incentive to start running.
Yeah.
Because I need to pass that bleep test. Once they give me that, anyway, I want to be a detective, but I know you have to start somewhere. Once they give me that police constable,
Oh,
PC,
do you know how funny that is? I can see you holding your uniform, like, what's going
I'll
on?
go to the corner of the streets just for fun on my days off. Try me.
What's
And I'll
going on here,
specifically
lads?
ask to be in the digital department. I'll
No,
still wear
you're
my
so
uniform.
funny.
But my job is going to be a police officer on the internet.
Whew.
Because I can't wait.
PCCDB.
I can't wait to see a comment. Sorry, fantasy. I can't wait to see a comment one day on the TikTok and just see the comment, and I'll just do my nice tidy screenshot. And then I'll reply, I've got your address. You are now under arrest. Gather your belongings.
The police will be with you very shortly.
Very quickly.
No, because we actually need those kind
Have
of
a
consequences.
brilliant day.
I'm screaming.
I can't wait. One day.
Coming soon.
One
Maybe
day.
that can be a division of TMS.
No,
where we
I'm
genuinely
telling
put together a
you.
police force, because
Yeah.
a task force, if you will,
There we go.
for
a
these
task
online
force.
gremlins.
Because what the hell? People have been allowed to run around helter-skelter for
A
too
mark.
long.
No, actually a mark.
And it's been damaging, especially to the younger generation. It's one thing if you've been able to make up your own mind. And to be fair, even with all of our minds are just so malleable. Like navigating the internet, you have to have such a level of awareness,
Yes.
a level of critical thinking
Yes.
that a lot of people lack, either because of lack of access to education,
Exactly.
just generally just life in general, the way culture and your life experiences may have skewed the way
It's
you view the
crazy
world.
It's crazy.
Being
work.
young, right? All of these things impact whether we know we should engage with something or not engage with something. And unfortunately, a lot of us, because of personal experience, because of our own desires, we've engaged with things which are dangerous to us. There's this scripture in Timothy that talks about how people will accumulate teachers that are according to their own desires.
Yes.
And because for a lot of us, we have desired the man, we've desired the relationship, we've desired the status of marriage more than we've desired the health and the safety of one. We have acquired teachers onto ourselves who seem like they are aligned with that desire, but actually they are just wolves in sheep's clothing.
Foolish people.
They are just wolves in sheep's clothing.
Masquerading.
So
actually satanic, if you will, because this is
I'm
what
telling
this
you,
is. It's
Satan.
actually it's Satan,
Satan.
with the accent.
shout
because
out to Sinead. Literally, when she started saying Satan as Satan, I
It's-
said,
No, because
Yeah.
you have to add the emphasis, because it's like
Satan.
there's an enemy that we're battling,
Yeah.
and sometimes the enemy is actually manifest in you.
Yeah. And in these people, I'm so sorry.
No, I mean, that's the reality of the society that we're living in. We're hoping that the ladies listening to us are aware of the ruse
Hopefully.
and the lies that have been peddled.
Hopefully.
Especially, do you know what I think is also like beautiful in being able to see the rise and fall? It's that you see the cyclical nature of stuff. I think that's why, as you were saying, the younger generation are so permeable and so at risk, because they haven't seen the rise and fall. Whereas for some of us that are older, a little bit wiser, we've seen people come and we've seen people go. So it's a little bit more difficult to pull the wool over our eyes. And still there are people who have seen these trends and they're still falling victim to them. But I think what's also interesting is when the Pygmishas also are aware of the fact that, it's my time to exit stage left and potentially even do a little bit of a rebrand. So, you know, there are some people who genuinely, you know, they come and they repent and they do their whole like 4-9s and whatnot. But I think there's also something quite dangerous about people that then completely transform their personal brand and not their character. So it's gone from I am a staunch advocate for, you know, marriage, relationships, helping women, coaching women into finding the perfect man. And then now the perfect man that you have is not so perfect. Suddenly you become an advocate for women's empowerment. Talk to me about some of the Pygmishas that have, or the Patriarchy Princesses that have realized that what they're doing may not be fruitful at the end. And what have they realized perhaps a little bit too late?
I think one, like what you said, I think many people may have realized too late that a man is not the center of your universe,
right?
And they are not the be all and end all of your value of your identity. And for a lot of people, that lesson has come too late because they've realized they've put so much emphasis on this man, so much emphasis on his validation, that it genuinely grieves them when he does something wrong. Like it shatters their entire identity, their self-esteem. And I'm not to say that that man is to be excused. I'm not to say, oh, he's just human, he's just a man. It's inevitable for him to make mistakes. No, men should be held accountable to their bad behaviors. But I think it is easier to process certain pains, grievances, or betrayals that have happened in your relationship when you see your person or your partner as a human being, and not this caricature, and not this persona which you have portrayed to the public that now he completely contradicts. So, for example, if your entire brand or content has surrounded like how to get a good man, and then you get with a man who then does rubbish, it's going to be a lot harder for you to deal with the consequences of that rubbish because of how much nonsense you were talking before. It's going to be so much harder. It adds a new level of pressure to the reconciliation of that relationship.
Exactly.
Not that relationship should not be reconciled. We really do pray that your relationship can work or you find freedom from a really toxic situation. But now you've added an extra layer of pressure onto your relationship because you have a big mouth. You have a big mouth. And then the other thing is, if you're the sort of person who, again, has put a man at the center of your universe, your life is now continually controlled by that person, and whether they are by your side or not. So it makes it more tempting, I would say, to maintain an illusion of your relationship. It makes it more tempting to want to gloss over some of the negative things which are happening, which if you did not create that persona of yourself of being that relationship expert or being the person who was the ideal woman, you wouldn't have to gloss over. You could probably ask for help for. And I think that's the unfortunate part. You now need help. You now need rescuing. You now need counsel. And now you have to swallow a big, big, big slice of humble pie.
It's very sad.
You've got to swallow up all of that pride and that ego you put out here when you thought you were an expert. And that's why I think the internet is in desperate need of humility again. People, especially creators, need to be humble again, because you never know what lies ahead of you on that road that you're going down called life. I wanted to touch on what you said about like rebranding now as this women's empowerment. Again, it's another Ponzi scheme. I'm so sorry. It's another Ponzi scheme.
Constable Courtney.
I personally feel like, no, I think it's another Ponzi scheme. We need to be really careful with people who constantly attach price tags to the empowerment work that they are doing. If you are not okay to do certain things for free or out of volunteering or genuinely out of the goodness of your heart that do not revolve around, let me be clear on this, that do not revolve around you being center stage and being acknowledged for your things, because people can volunteer but it's all still for ego, right? They're volunteering because they get to be at the center, they're volunteering because they get to share, oh, I did this thing, look at me, clap for me, aren't I so amazing? Nonsense. If you can't even do things, dare I say anonymously, you don't actually care about the cause. You care about your reputation. And that is another dangerous place to come from, because like you were saying, you just transfer that ego from one cause to the next. Because you want to be seen so much, you've realized that the wind of change has blown. And now instead of listening to the red pill girlies, the girls are listening to the empowerment girlies. And so because I want my bag, because I want to be seen, I'm going to now hop on this new trend of empowerment. It's the same thing we were discussing with the Christian aesthetic video. Because I know that people have migrated their attention to this particular trend or this particular category of content, I'm now going to align myself with where the money is. I'm going to align myself with where the attention is. Do you need to speak? Probably not. Do you want to speak? Yes. What does that add to us all?
You know, when I was younger, you know that whole saying of, you know, when you have something to say, you should speak. And if you don't, then it's okay not to say anything. I think we need to go back to that. We talk too much.
We talk way too much.
And we talk too much publicly. I understand decentralization of platforms, reclaiming narratives, empowering voices, etc., etc. But this whole trend of consistency is setting us back. It's causing regression.
Absolutely.
It's not good to be consistent in things of darkness.
Yeah. And it's okay to also acknowledge that you were wrong.
Yeah.
It's okay to acknowledge, like, oh, you know what, guys, I put out this video. I was watching a video of a creator and it was a hair tutorial, and she was talking about, oh, you know how last week I told you to put your gummy wax in the fridge? Don't do that. I was wrong. But I found a new method. And I just love that, because that was just like last week. Do you get what I mean? And she was able to say, like, oh, I've realized something better. And I know it's very trivial to do with hair gel, but like, I think that's a perfect example of being an evolving creator.
Yes.
You can evolve. Your mindset doesn't have to be static. And I think to even further that point as well, that's why it's important to have experts talk on certain things and people who are well seasoned in something. I'm not, as a young person, as young people who have a lot of wisdom and give advice on our platform, I'm not against people who maybe don't have the most life experience in terms of years giving advice, because you may have had a life filled with a lot of experiences, even though it has not been long. You may have also just been blessed by God with wisdom. So I'm not saying you're disqualified from giving advice. However, do whatever you can. The word says that you should study to show yourself approved. Right? A lot of y'all are not approved. There's a reason why there's a verification thing on social media, because it's a sign of some kind of approval that you are who you say you are. Just because you have a following doesn't mean you're approved. Being approved is because you have studied. Being approved is because you have educated yourself. Being approved means that you have taken whatever you are doing very seriously. And so opinion is not study. Other TikTok videos from your peers is not study. You know what is study? Education. And I'm not just talking about formal education. You can self-educate through reading, through listening, through exploring, through conducting, through whatever it is. Girl, do some interviews, do some research. If you're so passionate about this thing, go on a counseling course. Go and figure out, okay, how can I get better and enhance myself in my knowledge in this area, but also my helpfulness in this area? Because actually what you're doing is just adding more noise to a very loud echo chamber. You're not actually helpful. You're not actually helpful. And so study to show yourself approved. And that's why we need more people to come onto the internet who are experts, who are knowledgeable, who actually care enough about the thing. People who actually care enough about the things that they are passionate about, that they invest time, energy, money, into the mastery of that thing,
Yeah.
and into their helpfulness in that space, and into their legitimacy
Mhm.
in that space. Those are the people, dare I say, who actually last the test of time. If you are a patriarchy princess and you are so passionate about gender politics, I dare you to go to school. And no, I dare you, because you've got a passion for something. Everyone's passion can start off in the wrong direction.
So funny.
No, everyone's passion can start off directed in the
You
wrong
are
direction.
so funny.
I think that's legitimate.
How can you say
thing.
I dare you to
I
go
dare
to
you to
school?
go to
That
school.
is so
No, because you
funny.
have a passion.
No, I hear that, but
You
just the
actually
way
have a
you
passion.
frame that is so
I dare you
funny.
to go to school because you clearly have a passion, one that you're bold enough to take to the internet. Why not channel that energy to, one, getting a accredited qualification,
Yeah.
but also, two, actually allowing yourself to be challenged. That's the beauty of education. You come across information that may actually challenge your preconceived notions,
Yeah.
right? Allow yourself to be challenged for the love of the thing that you love, not because, oh, I just want to go and prove myself, right? Actually, I want to go and find the truth.
Mhm.
Actually, I want to go and find, even if I disagree with them, I want to go and find contrary beliefs to me
Yeah.
that even help reinforce why I think what I think.
There you go.
At least then you would last the test of time.
Mhm.
But hey, you decided that instead you were going to get your bachelor's degree from TikTok and your master's degree from Instagram and your PhD from YouTube. And now, 4 years later, we can't even find you.
Thank you for coming to this TED Talk. Do with that what
Wishing
you
you
will.
all the best.
If you would like to sow into the CDB ministries, we'll actually be leaving the link down below.
So unserious.
I'm being very serious. We can even do a fundraiser for your education. If you are a former patriarchy princess, we can support with those dealings. We have access to a great therapist as well, great therapy community, betterhelp.com/2mysisters. If you do need that kind of support, we are happy to afford that to you, because we want more sisters coming over to the light and coming over to this side. If you are a man and you're low-key a red pill man, this is not the community for you. I would advise you to cease and desist. I would advise you to leave immediately. In fact, the fact that you're here this long at this hour shows that there's something in you that's pricking you and gingering you that what you're doing is wrong too. So before we set up our constable situation and start arresting folk, I would advise you to leave the premises immediately. But sisters, we want to know your thoughts. This conversation could stretch on forever because we've got some thoughts on the nooks and crannies of patriarchy princesses, from the bastions of broken marriages to how you should raise your pick-me, to how you should do your hair and how you should speak to be able to attract some of these feral men. There's a whole vast array cesspit, as Courtney mentioned, that we could dig into. But what has really gingered you about the patriarchy princess movement, sisters? We would love to know. If any of you are reformed patriarchy princesses, we'd also love to hear from you. We need some testimonies to share within the community to show that transformation is possible and deep deliverance is something that people can also experience. So sisters, let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and of course you can follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all of the incredible things happening at TMSHQ. We are at To My Sisterhood on pretty much every single platform. And of course, if you want to, follow us individually, you can also do that. Follow my bestie that is looking absolutely gorgeous in the brown afro. If you're watching on Spotify, you should come onto YouTube just to come and have a look at our beautiful faces at CD Boateng. And of course, come and follow me over at Renee Kapuki.
Love to see it. Sisters, we love you dearly. Let us know what other content you want to see from us, what other topics should we cover in future episodes, and make sure that you sign up to our mailing list on our website, tomysisters.com, so that you can literally just lock into everything that we're doing. It's actually great things. We love you so much. We hope that you have an amazing week. Talk to you soon, and as always, keep glowing and growing.